Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Celtic 2, St Mirren 1. A tough game for Celtic tonight. A really tough game. We left it late. However, 3 points. That's the aim. That's the most important thing. I leave Celtic Park happy. We remain top of the league with our 5-point lead. Let's dissect the game, shall we, as we normally do on these match reactions. Start to finish. Let's talk about it. Welcome back. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. It'd be much appreciated. Let's not waste too much time because we've got quite a game to dissect. There wasn't vintage Celtic by any means. A really tough test for us. I mean, the side who are third in the country right now, showing why they're third in the country, they made it a really tough game. And before I go any further, I mean, you've got to hand it out to St Mirren tonight. I thought they came to Celtic Park and they presented a different challenge. And Stephen Robinson presented a different challenge for a side that I really did expect to change it up and go that 10 at the back and just camp it out. They didn't do that. Even when they were 1-0 up, they didn't do that. So, you know, it really posed some questions for Celtic. We had to dig deep. We had to fight hard. And it asked a lot of questions of our side. Ones that we had to answer. And we left it late, but we done it. So, for as many negatives as there might be in the game for you, I don't know how everybody's thinking is individually. For as many negatives as there was, we found the 3 points and we dug deep. Not every game is going to be a walk in the park. And against the team that sit third in the country, I'm happy with the 3 points tonight. No matter how we got it done, we got it done. And we're going to talk about a little bit later on in the video, obviously. If that was his only goal this season, which touchwood it isn't, I want it to be the catalyst for him to find the confidence and score goals. It's a huge goal for him, but if it's the only goal he scores this season, it's a massive one. It's title-winning kind of goals. You know, that's what he gave us tonight. It's the ones that separate you from a momentum shift, and you never want that to happen. You don't want to give Rangers any sort of confidence or momentum in their direction. So it's a huge goal. You can't underestimate how important it is. We'll talk about him a little bit later on. We left it late. Let's go to the start, shall we? Let's try and go through what was a really kind of weird game, because I don't think we were awful by any means, but I don't think we were good either. I think there was phases of play which we looked good, and there was phases of play that St Mirren had that forced us to maybe sit with our nails in between our teeth. You know, it was really sort of on edge for a lot of the game, for me anyway. But we'll go back to the start of team selection. Obviously, Brendan Rodgers threw in a couple of changes, and I said that yesterday, didn't I? Even though I predicted an unchanged side from Easter Road, I said that this would be the game where I think Brendan Rodgers will make a couple of surprise changes, and he done that. James Forrest came into the starting lineup. David Turnbull came into the starting lineup. Cameron Carter-Vickers dropped out, and Nat Phillips came in. We've seen changes to the side, ones that I couldn't pinpoint, but wasn't surprised in saying, were they the right changes? We'll talk about that, because I think some players really did struggle tonight, and I think that one of the main things that I gathered from tonight's game, and you know me, I try my best not to be one of the knee-jerk reaction supporters where somebody has a bad game and you say, they're done. But there is a few players that I think are in this side that are nowhere near the level required at the minute. Some who've been here for a long time, some not so long time. But there is a couple of players that they shouldn't be in the conversation. They shouldn't be starting games. But we'll come on to that as time goes on. We didn't start well. McMenamin gave St Mirren the lead very early, 7 minutes into the game, and that kind of sent vibrations through the Celtic side, didn't it? We had to answer that. The goal that we conceded was poor. We were just kind of, we left McMenamin in so much space. I think it was Nat Phillips' man. Nat Phillips was nowhere to be seen. He's there for a free header. Joe Hart is rooted to his spot. I wouldn't hold it against Hart. He's never going to get across to it. But we leave him in all that space, and the defending of the cross wasn't fantastic either. And it just seemed like a real lapse of concentration from the back line. And it just shows you the difference when Cameron Carter-Vickers isn't in the side. It really does. The gulf in class between him and any other centre-back is noticeable. There's no denying it. Whoever it is coming in to fill in Cameron Carter-Vickers, they've got a hell of a job to do. And I think there was, in that moment of that lapse of concentration, in that moment, I think there was also just kind of maybe a lapse of leadership. Just don't think the back line looked, and that, I thought that was the case the whole night. They didn't look comfortable. I think Nat Phillips really, really struggled, not going to lie, and I'm not going to suddenly say bin him. even though he's only here till January anyway, but he really struggled defensively and with the ball as well. His passing was negative, his movement was negative. And I know you don't, traditionally a centre-half isn't meant to have all those skills, but in the modern day and age, is he cut out for what we need him to do? And I was really happy with him when he came off on the park against Atletico last week, but tonight when he started the game and up until the end, he just didn't look comfortable in what he was doing, and he was obviously nowhere to be seen for that first goal. Huge drop off in quality, and I think that just along that back line, nobody had a great performance. Not even Scales. I don't think Scales' performance was great. I thought it was solid once again, and I'll give him the pass marks that he deserves. But I still think there was moments in the game where he kind of left himself too far from somebody, or he got done on a turn. Johnson, I thought personally, one of his poorer games for me, and I've seen Rodgers giving him a bit of a convo at the end of the game. He was talking away to him. I don't think Johnson would have been pleased, because I thought he was poor as well. His defending of the cross as well in the first half wasn't great. Just a thought across the back line, they didn't have that same kind of steadiness that you would normally see in a Celtic back line, and that was really echoed through the first goal that we conceded. So Celtic were forced to find an answer, and find an answer quickly, and luckily they did, and they found it through David Turnbull. Now, just very quickly, before people start pulling me up, I've just seen the photos back now that I'm in the house, and I wasn't sitting miles away from the celebration. It wasn't a cup of the ears. It wasn't, doing what I said. Very similarly, though, fingers in the ears, which I think still echoes the same sort of sentiment of what I was saying. So, still relevant, my points, just not the same celebration. Yeah. David Turnbull's strike was fantastic. Brilliant goal to get us back in it. It shows you that he has that still in his locker to find a goal from range. A very limited locker, because I think aside from that, he didn't really do much. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to beat around the bush. But it was a great strike. He deserves the credit for that. What I will say is, though, the celebration, it has to be fought out. He cupped his ears. He gave it the, which... I'm not one to speculate. I'm assuming, just like many Celtic fans have tonight, I'm assuming it was a little bit of a dig at those who say he's no good enough, shouldn't be in the Celtic side, whatever. Fair enough. He backed it up with that goal. But maybe, just maybe, think these celebrations out. This isn't me going out to slaughter him. I'm just saying, maybe think them out. Because when you do that, and then you miss a penalty 10 minutes later, it doesn't look very good. Yeah, it doesn't look great. Leaves a bit of egg on your face. That was what I was, before he even missed it, I was like, is it really necessary? Is the celebration really, really necessary? I don't want to really nitpick at it, but he misses the penalty, and it was a great chance for us to make the game more comfortable, because I thought, for all it means, I thought we were actually decent in the first half. I thought we had plenty of chances. I thought we had decent moments in the ball, probably outnumbered by moments where we weren't as good, but we still looked okay. But we had a chance to really make the game more comfortable for us, and certainly for the players who aren't used to starting a lot of games, and we miss it. Penalties need... Look, we're talking about things being banned from Celtic Park, as we all know the Green Brigade are banned for this moment of time. If there's one thing that should be banned, it's penalty kicks, because we're awful at them. We're bad at corners, we're bad at penalties, we're not really good at free kicks. We need to sort it out. There's only so long you can get away with these things. Yeah, we've been the best team in Scotland for the last 20 years. But my God, for the last God knows how long, we've not been able to hit a corner, a penalty, or a free kick. And it's transcended managers. It's a problem that is rooted into the club. And it's eating away at me. We didn't hit one good corner. We didn't hit a corner into the box today. And the short corners, the amount of times we ended up giving it away, it's a waste of a set piece. And it's so irritating. So you see a missed penalty, you see missed corners that aren't amounting to anything. It really starts to get your nerves, especially in a tight-knit game. Especially when you're going toe-to-toe with a side who really are in the game. We need to sort that out. But yeah, I think there was just a few players that struggled. I thought the wingers were non-existent in the first half. They really were. Forrest is... And I hate just feeling like I need to say it all the time. He's an empty jersey. He is. Was he in that game? Do you remember seeing him in the first half? No, he doesn't open himself for opportunities. He doesn't get into the right places. He's scared to do things. We all know the type. Everybody's called him a shite bag for years. He wasn't there. He was as good as an empty shirt. And Palmer struggled. He did, because we all know that Palmer's not got that that turn of pace that a Maeda does or a Yang does, and he tries to make up for it with doing other things. Tonight it wasn't paying off for him, so we really were relying on coming through the middle, and we did get chances, but we just weren't at the races to the level that we need to be. Yeah, a couple of dodgy things, and we go into the second half with a 1-1. We had to find the goal. We had to wait for it, but we had to find it. Second half, once again, thought we were the better side, easily. We had chances. The subs really made a big impact. Maeda and Yang, I thought Yang was brilliant. I thought he was really good. He was direct. He brought everything into the game that neither Palmer or Forrest did in the first half. And even though things didn't work out for him all the time, he was still trying and he was still bringing it to the table and creating a conversation in the final third, which was something that we didn't really have coming from the wide areas in the first half, I thought. So I was really happy with Yang, and for someone who's still very, very raw and he's got a long way till he's the finished article, I was happy from what I've seen of him tonight. So really, props to him. We'll come on to, as I said, Maeda came on and added that pace that we needed as well. The one thing that still happened through the second half, by the way, I'll come on to him in a minute actually, because one thing I've still not spoke about, which was really, really obvious in the first half, which was into the second half as well, McGregor had a really poor game. Really bad game, Callum McGregor. Passing, what was that about tonight? And this was the thing for me. Tonight, I think, and we just looked disjointed. We didn't look like a team that were comfortable with each other. And that was what was eating me away, because there was a lot of passes that were slack, a lot of passes that were overhit, a lot of passes that were an inch or two to the left or right. And McGregor was the main culprit for it tonight. His passing was dreadful. Really bad. I was wondering how he was in the park come the final whistle, I'm not going to lie. But do you know who really helped him when he came on? Thiago Holm, I thought was brilliant. I was surprised when he took off O'Reilly at first and left Turnbull in the park, but I was really happy with what I seen of Thiago Holm. And I thought that he helped big time. But it was really strange. The passing was just off tonight in general, and it wasn't helping us. So for every decent attack that we had, we were, misplacing 5 or 6 passes in between, which is frustrating. It's something that needs to be worked on. We can't take that Dingwall. We certainly can't take it to Madrid. But was really strange. McGregor was way off it, I thought. But we know he's the player he is, and he'll come back stronger. But I was really surprised. We found the winner, and that's the main thing. And look, we had to weather a bit of a storm at times as well. Joe Hart, I thought had a solid enough game. He came out and claimed the ball when he had to. I thought his command of the area was great. So defensively, we done our job when we had to, even though we avoided a couple of scares. There were some moments, there was. But we found the goal. What a huge goal for O. He needed that. And listen, I'm not entirely convinced by O. I'm still not. I actually thought from my seat that he blazed it over the bar. It wasn't until I seen the net ripple, I thought I was, oh no. Because he burst the net. It was such a powerful strike. And I thought it was going over the bar. It didn't. It went in. Holmes' pass for the assist is magic. He makes the goal. I think he deserves just as much credit as O does in that moment. But it's a huge goal for him. Hopefully a confidence booster. And it also brings back, we've spoke about Owen. This is a point I made a couple of weeks ago. A lot of people have been getting on the back of Owen, rightly so. He hasn't scored the goals. He hasn't delivered. He hasn't changed the game when he's came on. But I said a couple of weeks ago, how many times do you remember Owen missing a glaring opportunity? Not many, because not many opportunities have failed for him. He's been unlucky in that regard. Tonight, the opportunity presented itself. He took it, which is a good sign, and I hope that just more of that happens for him. But he needs to do his job as well. He needs to move. He has to get into these areas, and he got into the right place for Holmes' pass, and he made no mistake in busting the net. It's huge for him. It's huge for us. Massive for us. And it gets all 3 points for Celtic. I just hope that is, once again, use the term catalyst. I hope that he has the confidence to come on off the bench in future games, score goals, win us games, because we need him to do that. And slowly he'll win over the people who do doubt him, which I'm still leaning towards doubting. But it's a step in the right direction for him tonight. One thing that irritated the life out of me though, in those closing stages of the game, Kyogo, what are you doing? That's 3 or 4-1 up with a couple of minutes to go, fair enough. Try and chip the keeper. Try and score a lovely, beautiful to look at goal. But no when it's 2-1 and St Mirren are having a good go at it. He needs to put his laces through that, put it in the bottom corner, put it in the top corner, put your laces through it and beat the keeper with it. Because it very nearly came back to bite us. In the blink of an eye, the flick of a switch, St Mirren were heading up the park after he missed it, and I'm thinking, he's doomed this. He's doomed this. And it's unlike Kyogo, you know, you don't say Kyogo dooms you very often. But I thought he did. I was like, St Mirren gotta go and score here. You need to put the game beyond doubt. You need to finish it off. And he tries to be clever with it. It's not a moment to be clever. As beautiful as it would have been. Listen, if it went in, we'd all be saying, oh, what a player. And the nerve to do that, but it didn't. That's the thing. It didn't. He needs to just put his laces through it and finish the game and put it to bed. That could have been in a different day against a different team. Especially, I mean, would they have tried it in Europe? I don't know. But against a different team, that could have been costly. So, none of that. Between missing a penalty and missing opportunities like that, games can change. No. Yeah, so a bit of a frustrating one tonight. As I said, disjointed would be the word for me. I just felt like... And it's not... See, when you look at the 11 that finished the game, it's crazy. Like, the minutes some of these players have had, and a lot of them being new guys, Holm, Yang, you know, guys like that, Phillips. A lot of them haven't played together an awful lot. It looked disjointed from start to finish, but there was positives. We got the 3 points. There's room to be happy. And Brendan Rodgers will know that there's reasons to be unhappy as well, and hopefully that's worked upon ahead of a very tough game against Ross County at the weekend. So, yeah, anyway, I've dragged it on. I've spoke for loads of time, so I'll let you get away. If you've enjoyed, like and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts of the game in the comments below, and I'll see you all next time.